Welcome to another exciting episode of the Epic Entrepreneurs Podcast. I'm Brad Sugars, the Chairman and CEO of Actioncoach, and today we're diving into the minds of some incredible business leaders, uncovering their real stories, strategies, and the secrets behind their victories. It's not just about success, it's about the journey, the hurdles, and turning challenges into opportunities. So let's jump right into it.
Good day, everybody. This is Coach Andy O'Brien. I'm here with another episode of the Epic Entrepreneur, and today I am joined by Kelli Foster of Bohemia Healing Spa out of Wichita, Kansas. Kelli, welcome to the show.
Hi, it's really great to be here. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, we are so excited. You know, it's so fun to interview people of coaches that I've known all over the world. So you have the infamous, Lee Gray.
Yeah, Lee's pretty amazing.
She is absolutely phenomenal. We just celebrated her birthday. So tell me this, how long have you been in business?
I've been in business for 14 years now. Yeah, it's been a minute.
It has been a minute. Excellent. So, we love to start with, let's start with the top 3 things that have made you successful in business.
So when I first started out in business, I had independent contractors. I was very new to the industry, and honestly, I did not know anything about the spa industry when I decided to go into it. So, I'd visited spas and I had done the spa thing for myself personally, but I didn't really know anything about the industry and how it worked and how people were paid and the difference between independent and employees. And the number one biggest change I made to create success in my business was converting from independent contractors to an employee-employer relationship. And the reason for that was really because when you have independents, it's kind of a free-for-all. You can't hold them to a specific standard. They don't have to really abide by rules and regulations as much. They own their own business, so they can come and go as they please. And when I made the decision to convert, that really catapulted my business in a whole another direction, and we just blew up. We were able to have very high standards of every service. We were able to enforce our policies and procedures, and we were able to really treat everybody at the highest standard that we expected out of our employees. And that's the number one thing I think that really created success for my business personally. The other things, I guess, would be a little bit more challenging. I think that looking at myself very hard and being very vulnerable to the things that you need to change in order to create a dynamic team, that was really hard, taking a really hard look at some of the qualities within myself that were not strong leadership skills. I am not a natural born leader, as Lee Gray will tell you, but we have developed me into a very strong leader when it comes to, the way that I lead my teams towards success and the way that the business has become successful. So, that's hard. It's really hard to identify those qualities within yourself and say, you need to be better at this. And it's the B part, right? Like the B do have, like my B was not there, but over time, I am now the leader that I wanted to be before by looking at those qualities and really working on the weaknesses, and becoming that person that I really needed to be successful.
Oh, I love to hear that. That is great. So what would you tell others? How could they follow in your footsteps with that part, the last part there of being the leader and becoming the next best version of yourself?
Well, people might be able to do it on their own. I think it really takes somebody that can be really honest with you about where you're at and the things that you need to change in order to be that person. I think it's very difficult for most business owners to identify those qualities on their own. I would not have known what those qualities were without my coach helping me to develop that side of myself that created this leader that has become who I am today. But I don't think you can do it on your own. I really do think it takes somebody that can be very honest with you, that you trust, that can help guide that process. And that was a coach for me.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. So let's rewind 14 years for a minute. When you look at back in your beginning, so for Kelli, not for anybody else, for Kelli, what made you decide to get into business for yourself?
I mean, it is kind of a long story. I'll keep it as short as possible, but I went through a really bad divorce, and my life was kind of falling apart. I was having to short sell my home, my dream home that I had just my whole life. I wanted this, house like this, and I had this beautiful home and two beautiful children, and I had the marriage, and it was kind of like the suburban lifestyle that I thought was my dream that I wanted to have. And when that all fell apart, it really came down to knowing that I needed to make some changes to be able to make the money and have the lifestyle that I wanted for my children. And really, I think it was about taking risks that I probably would not have taken had I not already felt like I had lost a lot in my life. So I made the decision because I was doing massage out of the studio at the time, and it kind of fell into my lap. The universe sent it to me, and I went with it. And my best friend had a lot to do with that, because she was kind of the one that suggested it and said, hey, I really think this could be a great path for you. And when I had decided to go ahead and move forward with purchasing a business, my thought was, I've already had the worst thing happen that could possibly happen to me. If this doesn't work out, I think I'll be all right, because I'm not a risk taker by nature. But I think that just being in a really tough spot before, and then deciding that, I can make this path for myself, and I can, I did want to also be a mother that was able to pick their kids up from school and fix them dinner every night. I wanted to create my own schedule. I really wanted to have a lot of flexibility in my life. And, that's what I was able to create through having my own business.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
I love it. It's funny. It's not funny, but it's interesting. Like, the next question is, what has been your biggest challenge? And man, you slayed that challenge. You slayed it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that now, but that has not been my biggest challenge. Of course, in business, we have a lot of challenges, but.
And what would that be in business? What would your biggest challenge be, and how did you overcome it?
Well, my biggest challenge was putting out fires, and it's that not figuratively, but actually. I had 2 fires in my business. One happened, I think it was 2019, I believe. And then I had one in 2018 and 2019. So I had 2 fires back to back at my Delano location. And it was traumatizing emotionally and very traumatizing, financially. So it was a really, really hard thing to get through, because we had lost so much, and the whole back side of the building basically burned in the second fire. The first one was not as bad. We had a flood that it had burned the water line, and then the whole spa ended up flooding. So it required us to shut down for long periods of time. And the way that I got through it, honestly, is because I was financially prepared for anything. So I had, a very good, solid control of my finances and a really good amount in savings that, just because I like to be prepared. So when these things hit, we didn't really skip a beat that much when it took a lot of recovery, but we were able to jump right back in and continue business and get everything repaired. But the biggest challenge, especially emotionally, it was just very emotionally taxing to go through. A fire is devastating in so many ways. Yeah.
Oh, I do realize that my dad had a business that burned to the ground, but I just got to say, just from those two things, everybody listening today, you're a badass. I mean,
Thanks.
you, yeah, you're slaying it. So well done, well done. All right, so let's look at this. When you talked earlier about being a leader, but how did you personally have to grow? And what did you most have to learn or create for your success?
My biggest learning was when, I have quite a few employees right now, but this was quite a few years ago that I think I had a team of maybe like, I don't know, like 15 employees at the time. And I could tell that they were not really happy. And, I could tell that like there was just not that I was not creating a space that was positive for them. And I was trying to discover that through Lee and like, what can I do to really, bring this team together? And I talked earlier about like being vulnerable. And that was one of the things also that catapulted like being a better employer and being a better human and being a better person. But she had this exercise she had us do where she sat down with the team. The entire team came together during a team meeting, and she had the team write down all the things that they didn't like about the way I was running my business. And it was all anonymous. So she had them all put it in like a little, like a little bowl. And then she drew these things out and she wrote them all down on a screen right in front of me to see. And it was hard. It was very like, it was hurtful. Like it felt very painful for me to be able to see all those things that people don't like in you and how how you aren't as a leader and what you could do to become better. But that is what changed everything for me. Like when I looked at that and I saw, I cried in front of my team. That was the vulnerability. Like I showed them my sadness. I showed them that I was vulnerable and that, I was willing to go through that for them to have a better employment experience with me. So that was hard. Yeah.
Wow. Good for you. There's a lot of people that we have interviewed on this and, people out there that if you're listening to this, this is really important, especially with today's society and the people that you're bringing into your environment. It takes a true leader to be able to listen, but not just listen, to execute on change personally. So congratulations again. I love this interview. So let's
since then, I would just say this, to piggyback off that. Since then, I do feel like I do provide a great environment and very, very happy employees. And I hear that feedback from my employees a lot. So I do feel like that change really did create a whole nother environment for the people that work in my space.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. All right, so let's look at business coaching for a minute.
Okay.
So let's talk about your journey to business coaching. So why did you get one? Let's start with that question first. Why did you get a business coach? And then I have other questions that go with it. But what was this catalyst for you to go, I think I need some help?
I didn't think I needed help, to be honest with you. Just like every other business owner out there. I literally have people all the time asking me, why do you need a business coach? You are successful. Why do you think you need a coach? And I always say, well, if you're not a business owner, you wouldn't really understand why you need that type of support. But I had met Lee at a BNI group and I just thought she was so dynamic and I loved her energy and the things that she was saying during that initial, I think she did a speaking engagement for the team. And the things that she was saying to me really resonated with some of the challenges I was facing. And it's a lonely world out there when you're a business owner. It gets very isolating and very lonely. And, there's not a whole lot of people you can actually turn to that's going to give you good advice, first of all. But you don't want to take advice from somebody that really has no idea what running a business looks like. And so family members, you can't really ask for advice from, there's just a huge lack of support for business owners in general. And when I met with her for the first time, me and Lee just clicked. Like we our energies met. We were very much aligned, when it really came to like our personalities and who we were. And she's been my coach for 8 years. So, I mean, she's been coaching me for a very long time. And once I started working with her, I realized, this is what I've been missing, is that support from somebody that can help you with the challenges you're facing, and then also collaborate on how you're going to resolve these problems and these challenges in business. So it was just, and I don't think I could be without her. Like, she's now a part of my family, I feel like.
I love that. Yeah, Lee is a phenomenal human being. And we get such joy out of her, just her energy in any situation. If it doesn't bring you up, I don't know what will.
Absolutely.
So that is excellent.
She's incredible. And she is also like, for me, she makes me really question my decisions. And she is so honest with her feedback to me. And nobody else is going to be as honest as your business coach. They're going to tell you all the things that nobody else will tell you in order to really make sure. She wants to make sure that I know I'm making the right decision. So she always challenges me in that way. And I just think that it's just been so beneficial to me, and when it comes to growing my business and growing as an individual in general.
Oh, I love it. All right. I have 2 more questions. This one's off the cuff. But tell me, what best piece of advice would you go back and give your 25-year-old self?
Oh my goodness. Give myself? Oh my gosh. I don't like to give advice, but if I was giving it to myself, I would probably say that you have to have a purpose behind what you're doing, and you have to stay true to that every day in order to be successful. And I know that I think over the years, you kind of you get sidetracked from like, why are we doing this? Like, what is the reason and purpose behind, what we are here to do every single day? And I didn't always do that, but I think like currently our purpose is something that is in every staff meeting. And if my employees don't align with the purpose of the company, they are not going to be a good fit for the organization. So staying very focused on, the why is what I would probably say would be the best word of advice to give myself, because along the way, you lose sight of things like, I want to make more money, which we all want to make more money, right? But the way to make more money is to say, this is why we're doing this. And by staying focused on that, the money will come, the money will be there, or getting whatever the sidetrack. There's so many things that get you sidetracked off of your purpose. I would also say goal setting, like being more clear about your goals and visualizing where you see yourself, can make all the difference in making it a reality.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I know you said you don't like giving advice. What would be the top piece of advice you'd give other business owners listening to this podcast today?
It would probably be very similar to the advice I would give myself. I would say that the best advice I could give another business owner would be, you might think you don't need a coach, and you might think you can do it all on your own, which a lot of people do, or you might believe you can't afford a coach because it's not cheap to have a business coach. But the value in it is that it will completely change your business, and it will change your life, and it will change who you are as a leader. And I think having a coach would be my best advice would be to consider a business coach, because if you're facing challenges that are just difficult for you to handle on your own, you need that support. We all need that support in business.
Oh, I love that answer. Anything you'd like to add?
You love that answer. You're a coach. Hello.
But the beautiful thing about what you said is we are no different than you. We have to have accountability. We have coaches. The reason is so that we can be better for you. And of course, I love that answer. You're absolutely right. I love that answer. But most importantly, everybody that's going to watch this call all around the world, they're going to hear about Lee and her fantastic coaching, and people in your marketplace and people all over the nation, right? That's empowering for them. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate this. So Kelli, thank you so much for joining us today, telling your story, talking about being so vulnerable on this call.
Well, I mean, it's easy to be vulnerable anymore. I don't have any problems with vulnerability anymore in my life. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this has been another edition of the Epic Entrepreneur. And if you're in the Wichita area, please go and check out Bohemia Healing Spa. And Kelli, again, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun.
And that's a wrap for today's epic conversation here on Epic Entrepreneurs. Huge thanks to our amazing guest for their pouring their heart into sharing their journey. If you enjoyed this episode, hit that subscribe button, leave a review, share it, or hit that bell. But until next time, let's make sure you keep dreaming, take massive action, and stay epic.